All right, so let's kick off, and a very good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to this webinar. My name is Niklas, and I'm the company sales director, and with me I have my colleague Hannu Aronsson, who is also our CTO. Just want to mention that this is being recorded, so you may have noticed that already. We will also share the presentation with you, to all the participants after the call. And now I trust that you are sitting comfortably with your morning drink of choice, and you can just relax, and we will take you through today's topic of unlock the full potential of your Damm TETRA network. Next slide, Hannu. So, who are we? Well, since spring of 2022, we are part of Northcom, the Nordic leader in critical communication. And we focus on software development, integration, and data services for users operating on TETRA and broadband networks. We have over 20 years of experience working with customers in public safety, infrastructure, transportation, and utilities. And we are based out of Espoo, Finland. Next slide, Hannu. So this is a map to show you some of our customers we work with. As you can see, we have a lot of governmental public customers where communication is critical and needs to be up and running 24/7. At one of our customers, we take care of over 4.5 billion messages per year, and for them, it's very crucial in their operations. This was more to show you that our platform is scalable and robust. Customer names here are anonymized, but upon request, we can arrange for a discussion. And now I hand it over to Hannu. Please go ahead.
All right, thank you, Niklas. We are going to talk about how applications on TETRA and a bit of broadband can help operational use. And as you might have guessed, so Portalify connects to multiple different networks, and recently we have added direct connectivity to Damm TETRA networks, and it means that kind of the applications we do are available on Damm networks. But so what are we doing? We are connecting the operational people in the field to the operational people in the control room and everything around that with data applications. And I will show you examples of a lot of things that our customers have done with TETRA to give you an idea what can be done even with TETRA. And as you know, a lot of the Damm TETRA network users, they, of course, maybe the primary way of using it is voice, but there are a lot of data capabilities, and the Damm TETRA network is totally fully capable of all the TETRA data features. So here is kind of where we position Portalify applications. So we are between the field users and the back office users, and we kind of make data flow for operational needs in every situation. We also do other things, you will see that in a moment. So what do we have technologically? We have a platform where we have a lot of existing functionality. And this means that even if we solve one problem, we kind of deliver the whole platform, and then you can using the same server, the same connectivity and everything. You can then implement additional applications or additional custom configurations or so on. So we have everything from network connectivity to data storage to formatting data for mobile or databases, location tracking indoors and outdoors, situational awareness, messaging, database integration, machine learning, analytics. So there is a lot of things that we have done to different customers, and these are available as kind of a single platform solution. And we have worked mostly with the public safety, but we have also worked in other verticals from energy generation to electricity networks to public transport and so on. And of course, the aim is to lower cost or increase efficiency, automate processes, deliver higher safety, and reduce errors. And we will look into this a bit more in detail. And so here is a very high-level overview of the Portalify platform capabilities. You can see that we have all kinds of things from location to situational awareness to reporting to chat to situational awareness, login, a lot of functionality. Then we can store and access data in many different ways. And we have a lot of connectivity options. We have delivered Tetra applications from small single base station networks to nationwide networks with tens of thousands of users. But today's topic is that now that we have the Damm TETRA connectivity to the Damm TetraFlex interface in the network, this means that all of these applications are available for Damm networks in a very efficient way and can be connected to a small Damm network or a large Damm network. So let's look at examples, what we have done with Tetra data to show you the kind of data capability of Tetra. Often people think that Tetra is voice only, or they think that the Tetra data capabilities are not so good, but actually we see a huge number of users using Tetra data in a very beneficial way to get a lot of benefits out of it. Let's look at some of these examples. So the benefits that you can reach can be really huge. So we have seen from some police forces, for example, that people can spend more time out on the street if they can report mobile. They're directly from the field. And this, you can imagine how much this saves in salary cost. Then we have seen a lot of examples where the amount of errors or problems goes down a lot. So for example, if you get information on the screen of the radio as text, you don't need to ask for the information again by voice, or you don't mishear the number. You can always check it on the screen. And I think a great example is where a paper-based process was replaced with an app. The error rate went from 30% to 2%. And so it was a lot more efficient in a total way. And you can see these screenshots and photos of applications running on Tetra radios. And you can see that, hey, we can have clear information, we can have easy user interface, we can go all the way up to sending pictures to Tetra radios and other functionality. I'll come back to that in a moment. And so accessing information from the field is a key operational need. This could be automation in a factory, maintenance, or it could be public safety example. Here is, for example, on the right side, is an application we did for the Finnish traffic police. They check driver's license and they get information from 5 different databases on the screen. And if you look at very right, you can see that I'm not wanted and I'm not dangerous and my driver's license is valid. But this is really something that you can do in 1 second in the field. It's super efficient. And there are a lot more examples about this to access your information. I think what is different from something like Google to these applications is that the information is your own operational information, or your customers, if you provide a radio network to somebody, it's their own information that they need access to. And here is, for example, at the lower left is an example of a public transport application. It's totally customized for that customer and it exactly answers to their need. And this is something that can be done with these Tetra applications. So you get the information you need from your internal processes when you need it. You can also report to the office, so you can get information in real time from the field users into your control room or your operational information systems. And this often means that you have a better situational awareness in the control room. You know what's going on. For example, here at the top example, you can report that a meter has been read or a machine has been fixed, and then you get the information in the control room that, hey, now this task has been completed and it was successful. And the bottom one is the public transport example, which did replace a process where information was written on paper and faxed to the central office, where you can see that with just typing a couple of numbers, you get exact information in the backend office, and you can operate much quicker because you have real-time information instead of information being out of date by maybe 10 minutes or something like that. All the applications we do at Portalify can work on both Tetra and broadband, and especially today's environment, this is important. So here are a couple of examples. So for example, on the left side, you can see that on the smaller radio screen, the application is split into multiple simple screens, but on a smart, broadband device, you can have a better user interface for doing the thing. But these both handle the same data, they go to the same backend database, and this means that users on Tetra and broadband get the same information, they can update the same thing. So the people who are using radios can use the data, and if there is somebody who is working on a smartphone, they can also access the information. And the other example is our messaging app that works on smartphones, office computers, and Tetra radios. So we kind of connect all of these together, and then we can do a solution that works for you in the way that is suitable for your environment. And here is an example of the possibility of doing something more efficiently. We did recordings from a couple of countries, how the police is checking databases by using voice, and we found out that it takes about 1 minute of 2 people working to get some information to the person in the field. And then if you replace this with an application, you have only one person in the field who can do the same thing in about 10 seconds, 11 seconds. And this means that overall, it's more than 10 times more efficient. But there are also other benefits. The network load is actually a lot lower with the application. And also the information is displayed on the screen. There are fewer errors, and there is no chance of hearing something wrong. And so there are a lot of benefits out of this kind of applications. So let's look at a couple of packaged products that we have, and these are kind of the most easy to deploy. These are packages that you can just install it. It gives you some suitable set of functionality, and you can be up and running in a couple of weeks. And let's look at a couple of these. So one thing that is really interesting for a lot of people is our Smart View solution. This means location tracking, both outdoors and indoors. And so it depends on the devices. The indoor location tracking we can do with some Sepura radios and some Motorola radios. And of course, we can do the indoor location tracking with the smartphone that the user carries with them. But this has been really beneficial for operations where people work a lot indoors. This could be a power plant where people spend time indoors, airport, some important building, or something like that. And basically, we support all the functionality you would like to have. So we get the location information, we have location history, we have messaging, we have alarms, and these both work on Tetra radios and smartphones. So it's very beneficial in that way. And maybe to mention, so here is a complete product, but if you have a control room already, we can integrate with that and we can deliver the information to some existing control room. Or so we are open to integrating our solutions with other solutions or systems the customers may have. And we are open with interfaces and other things so that we can integrate with other systems in any environment. Then another product we have is what we call Query. This is our database integration tool or reporting tool. And what this does is connects the mobile users and the backend databases, and we have a lot of flexibility on both sides. So on the mobile side, we can build a user interface and experience that fits the device the user is using. Is it Tetra radio or smartphone? And then on the right side, we can connect to all kinds of databases, IT systems, cloud services, whatever it may be, without changing those services. So we can adapt to whatever the database or other thing is. And this makes it very practical to implement let's say, access to some database that the customer has, because you don't need to change the database. We can adapt to that. We can get the information. We can make the information look nice on the radio screen, and we can get the response back and update the database. So this is very powerful in doing custom data integrations. Then another product that a lot of customers find interesting is our Smart Chat, which is our secure messaging solution. And this means that all the messages you have in the system are inside your organization. So they are secure. They are not in some open global messaging system where somebody might get access to them. And we also have Tetra connectivity. So you can have people messaging on their smartphones and in the office, but if necessary, you can also send messages and receive messages from Tetra radio. So it's very flexible. And this is a secure way of bringing chat messaging inside your organization. So you can really discuss your company information. And we have features like location for each message, where it was sent, and audit logs and other functionality like that is often very necessary. For example, after some incident, to find out what happened, we can provide that. And this works with any Tetra radio. And depending a bit on the radio model, we do support different functionalities. And there is a very easy way to configure that, how to send messages to Tetra radios on the smartphone and computer side. One thing I want to mention, so we are today talking about Damm TETRA network, but our applications support all the major vendors' radios. So whatever radios you have on your Damm network, our applications can work on those Tetra radios. And we have customers around who have all kinds of Tetra radios from every possible vendor, and our applications support them all the way to the capability of the Tetra radio. So we can support whatever radio you have on your network. We can support that in the best possible way that is available on that radio. And we have a lot of experience also how to make applications work the best way on different radios. So let's bring this together and look at a couple of use cases. So how do our customers bring our capabilities together for their operations? So I already talked about this multi-database access from the field, so that in the field it's very easy. You just type in one piece of information and then you get the information from multiple databases in a prioritized form. The chat messaging, we have been providing chat messaging for broadband, vehicles, office, and Tetra radios in Finland for the public safety users for more than 15 years now. And it's really a operational key functionality. Here is actually in the middle is a police slide from the Finnish police, where they show that they have two screens in the police car. One is their situational awareness system, and the other screen is our messaging chat application. And this really enables them to do data-driven operations in a kind of free-form way and adapt to any situation. Then our platform is also capable of doing analytics and analysis and statistics. So for example, we have built some systems where we take customer data and we build statistics, information, combining location and priority and all kinds of things. And you can get a reporting solution that really provides insight into your data. And we have done this up to a nationwide public safety incident analysis system. So there is a lot of capability in this area. Then some other vertical examples. So for example, we have delivered a solution to a offshore wind farm. And this combines a couple of functionalities. So we have user logon, so we can identify the user who is using the radio. So every morning people log on to their radio and we know who is using that radio. So you can, in your control room, you can see users, not radio numbers. And this is really important for them. We also have indoor location tracking that is installed on the ships, on the windmills, in the helicopters and onshore. And so we can exactly tell that the user is now on this ship, they are on this helicopter, they are on this wind farm, and at the end of the day, everybody is back on shore. And this is a really critical safety application for them. So this is a combination of user identification and indoor location used in a way that works in that environment. The same kind of situation we have implemented for a couple of electricity network maintenance companies where they have tunnels and where people work in the tunnels, but of course they don't have satellite location capability, but we can provide the indoor location. This means that if something goes wrong, there is an emergency, you will know that they are in this part of this tunnel and you can quickly help them and get safety help to those users. And then reporting from the field. I think here the interesting thing is that we can have a very simple user interface that enables you to just click a few times and then you can get the report from the Tetra radio. But this means that we can automatically also add the location of the report from the indoor or satellite location of the user. We know who the user is on the radio if they are using logon. So actually the user does not have to provide any location information or user information, and but you get all of that information in the back end. So hopefully these examples show a bit how you can combine our applications together. And of course, all of this works on Damm networks now that we have the Damm TetraFlex API integration in our solution. So that was the prepared part of this, and let's see if there are any interesting questions.
Yes, thanks, Hannu. What if one wants to buy a SmartView or another application? What would you say, how long would it take to get it into use?
So as the SmartView is a kind of ready to run application, taking it into use is maybe, you need to get a computer, you need to install the application on that. We have a Windows installer, which is kind of the typical next thing. Then a bit of configuration. So I would say typically we see our customers deploying these in a couple of weeks, and maybe it's kind of 1 day of actual work, but the rest is kind of finding out the computer and doing 1 day of configuration or configuring it to match the customer environment. But it's just like installing any other Windows application you would have.
Okay, so what about deploying options for the software? From where can I use it? Do you have other options than on-premise?
Yeah, we support all different options. So we support installing it on site, on premise. So if you are kind of high security user, that's the best option maybe. We can also install it in the cloud and run it from the cloud and use it in that way. Or it can be provided you as a managed service operated by, for example, your Tetra network vendor. I mean, the partner who provided you the Tetra network, they might host the service for you or some other trusted party. So for example, in the Nordic countries, if you would like to have it as a managed service, Northcom can provide you it as a service. And so there is a lot of flexibility for different customers to get the application in the easiest way for them.
Yeah. One more. So you mentioned that we operate from a platform. What do you see the benefits from a platform solution?
So one clear benefit is that if you install some Portalify application on, for example, wherever, maybe at your premises, and then you connect it to your Tetra network and you connect it to your IT systems, then you can actually implement additional Portalify applications, additional integrations using the same server and the same Tetra connectivity and the same IT connectivity. So deploying the additional functionality becomes very easy because you don't need to install any more connectivity or something. It's all there and you can reuse the same. Also, it means that there is a lot of functionality that is already compatible with whatever you have. So for example, let's say if you start with indoor location, you can expand to satellite location, you can expand to messaging, and it kind of all works together and it works in the same management interface also to configure it.
All right, good, thanks. We have a question now. So Wojciech is asking, have you experience in WAP Tetra applications, access to database from Tetra radio?
Yes, we have, and so we support different ways of providing information to the radio. So we can use SDS text messages, we can use some special features on some radios, and we also support WAP, and we have actually delivered this already to quite many customers. It depends a bit on for some radio models, WAP is the best way to provide this, and so that's totally okay. And we also have the WAP gateway that is required for connecting Tetra radios to the actual application, so we can provide everything you need for this, and the only thing you need is to enable WAP and packet data on your Tetra network. And I think you could see some of the example pictures in the presentation. For example, we had a chemical database on Motorola radios, and that was using WAP, and the screenshot was from a WAP application.
Yeah, thanks for the good question. And again, we have Mario asking, hi Hannu, what about image over SDS? Can you tell us more?
Okay, so we have tried to find a lot of efficient and beneficial ways of using Tetra data efficiently. And I think the picture push application, what we have, which is now part of the Smart Chat. So you're able to send a picture to Tetra radios from your smartphone, for example. And we do this in a couple of different ways. So we have a way to send these as SDS messages, which is super efficient because we can send a SDS messages, about 20 of them that contain the picture. We can send them to a talk group, and with one transmission on the Tetra network to the talk group, the picture goes to every radio on the network. This works with Sepro radios and Airbus radios. Then we also support WAP push, which is a combination of WAP pages and a SDS text message to push information to the radio. And this can be used with Motorola, actually all the vendors' radios. So, and I think what we have found out that especially using group data on Tetra is so efficient that you can really deploy this picture application on a network, and it will not create any kind of data overload, but you can still push information to a lot of radios at the same time.
Good, now the questions are popping in. Good. So we have from Simon, he's asking, hi Hannu, I assume you use Damm Terminal Gateway or GW for your integration, right?
What we are connecting, we connect to the IP-based TetraFlex API for SDS and status communication. Packet data is just routed on the kind of IP level. And so we are using the standard Damm interfaces. You will need a license from the, I think it was enhanced application API from Damm, but that's a reasonable cost, and so it will not add a lot of trouble to your project.
Good, thanks. Excellent questions. Thanks so much. We still have time for one more, and then I think we are just on time. So Wojciech is asking, RUA, RUI with Damm ID8 database and Motorola radios, is it available?
So we can do functionalities with the Damm network. So if we get some logon information from the radio, I think some part of this radio user assignment may be handled by the Damm network already by itself. But our application level logon, we can also then after that, we could do some actions on the network. So for example, if a user logs in and we see, okay, this user is in this user group, we could maybe change the talk group on their radio and some other functionality. So that should be available and can be integrated. And I think there is a lot of power integrating different functionalities together. But please get in touch with us and we can discuss the details.
Right. I think that is it. We thank you so much for this. And as said, we send out the presentation for all participants. Thank you and have a very nice day. Goodbye.
Okay, thank you everybody. Have a good day.
Bye.